Okay. This next gentleman actually is a commercial real estate expert who was one of the big guys that helped me put this whole deal together. The reason we're sitting right here. You know what I mean? So, and he took the class because I still owed him some money. So, welcome John Herbert. Let him hear it, John.
Thank you, everybody. It's a rowdy crowd out there. This is like a dare for me, so just bear with me. Anyway, this last week has been a bit crazy. I've been getting calls from friends and family from all over the United States, and I've got my youngest grandson Nathan, who's 8, staying with us, and it's been an adventure to say the least. Roll this up a little bit. Anyhow, Nathan on Monday had a new temporary teacher, substitute teacher in his class, and the first day she came in and said, "Kids, my name is Miss Prussy, Prussy, and I really want you to remember my name. And I'm going to have a little quiz tomorrow to see who does." So next day rolls around, and sure enough, she stands up, looks over the crowd, and who does she point at? You get it, my Nathan. Anyway, Nathan absolutely panics. He turns to his buddy Timmy next to him and says, Timmy, what's her name?" Timmy says, "I think it's Miss Crunt." Oh, you know her, do you? Okay. And then my dad called a couple days ago too. He's out in Hawaii on his annual vacation, and we were talking and reminiscing about what life was like before computers came around. Some of you may be old enough to remember that. I do, actually. Anyway, he was saying, he was in his gravelly voice, he's 92 years old. He says, "Yeah, well, I can remember back when memory was something you lost when you got older, and the web, well, that's where the spider lived on our back porch, and a virus, well, that was the flu. And let's see, and what else? Yeah, and a CD was something you got at the bank. And if you had a 3.5-inch floppy, well, you never told anybody about that." Hey. Thank you. And then my brother Timmy called, and Tim's a sheriff out in Marin County in California. And if you've ever been out there, I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's hilly, windy roads. It's like a sports car fanatic's dream. And he happens to be a patrolman on the highway out there. And he got assigned rookie duty with a new female officer, and he had to show her the ropes for last week. So anyway, they went out the first day, and nothing much happened. Second day, they were cruising out by Point Reyes and pulled over at the rest stop, and were getting back in their car, and all of a sudden, this red Vet goes by at about 90 miles an hour. So they hop in the car, the lights go on, and off they go. And it took them about 5 minutes to even catch up. Finally, the driver saw the lights and pulled over to the side of the road. Well, there was a very attractive blonde behind the wheel. And Tim's partner also happened to be a very attractive blonde. So she got out of the car, went over, and asked to see her driver's license. Well, the gal started fumbling around in her purse for 2 or 3 minutes, getting more and more frustrated, and she finally said, "What does it look like?" And the cop said, "What does it look like?" "Well, it's rectangular and has your picture on it." So she went back into her purse and dug some more, and finally came up with a little rectangular mirror. She looked down at it, handed it to the cop. The cop looked at it, gave it back, and said, "Okay, you can go. Didn't realize you were a cop too." And then Cousin Dave called. Well, Cousin Dave is down in Houston, and he runs one of these big mega stores. These things where you can buy absolutely everything underneath the sun. And he hired this young guy last week and put him to work the next day as a sales clerk. So the day rolled on, and at the end of the day, he found this guy collapsed in the chair, just looking exhausted. And he said, "Boy, looks like you had a great day. How many sales did you have?" The guy said, "1." "1?" He says, "My goodness, all my salespeople have at least 20 their first day. How big was the sale?" The kid said, $278,578.65. Shocked, he said, my God, what did you sell him? He said, well, first it was a bag of fish hooks, then some tackle, a rod and reel, that 25-foot Mako in the back, and a GMC pickup truck and trailer to tow it. He said, my God, you sold all of that to a guy who came in to buy some fish hooks? He said, well, actually, no. He came in to buy his wife a box of tampons. And I said, at that point, well, looks like your weekend shot. Better go fishing. And to top it off, my Uncle Thomas called, and he's a priest up in Boston. And on Sunday Mass, a parishioner came up after the Mass and said, Father, I've really got a problem. And he said, really, what is it? He said, well, my brother passed away and left me a couple of female talking parrots. And all they can say is, we're hookers. Want to have some fun? And my uncle was, he said, boy, that's pretty tough, but I may have a solution for you. He said, I've got two male talking parrots, and I've taught them how to pray and say Bible verses. So why don't you bring your parrots over tomorrow, and I'll put them in the cage. So sure enough, the next day, she walked over and brought the parrots over, and the parrots were in the cage, heads bowed, holding their rosary beads. So she put her parrots in, and they said, hi, we're hookers. Want to have some fun? And one parrot turned to the other and said, put your rosary beads down, Frederick. Our prayers have been answered. Thank you so much. You've been fun.
John Herbert.